Hey, welcome back to another video. Today I want to give my thoughts on the whole Pokimane thing that's been going on, and especially everything that's came up with Fed. Now, I have recorded this a few times and I'm going to kind of break down parts of this, read some things, but there is a ton of information. Like, it just baffles my mind. And one thing I will say now is I'm not excusing what he has done. I don't condone it. I think it's horrible and very, very disgusting. But when I see this, like this whole kind of document on what happened with him and Pokimane, like, I've been in that situation where someone's led me on for such a long time, and it takes a long time to kind of break out of this whole thing. But I want to go over it and I want to give my thoughts. This may be a long video, so I apologize. Without further ado, if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell, and let's just jump straight into it. Now, this document is 25 pages long, and again, won't go into it, but we're going to kind of look at a few things. Hey guys, it's been a while. It's been 2 months now. I know a lot of you are angry, sad, and disappointed, and you certainly have the right to be. I did some shitty things and they went unchecked for a long time. After some very low moments, I'm in a better place now. I've been seeing a really good therapist nearly twice a week, as per suggestion, taking time away from social media. I've used this time to distance myself and reflect. Throughout this time, I have been staying completely sober and plan to continue to do so, which is good. Just in general, though, I am really trying to improve myself as a person, and I honestly feel I've made progress. Sorry if it's a bit weird. It's a lot to can't take in. But I know it's not my place to be the judge. I'm taking this all very seriously. So I'm glad that he's now turning around and saying, hey, I am getting help. I am out there to do this. So he kind of carries on and goes over a few things by saying he's got his mistakes, and then obviously his actions towards Yvonne and Lily, that he's not going to go against this at all. Now, you've got this saying here, or this paragraph. I just want to say first that this has nothing to do with me coming back to streaming. After a tremendous amount of thought and therapy, I'm here to shed some light and give a timeline on my side of things, since it has now become a public matter. I have apologized to Yvonne and Lily privately, and the statement will no way conduct their stories. Instead, the purpose is to address the individuals that I believe are twisting the truth for their own benefit. For my own health, I can no longer stay silent. And I'm glad that he's actually released this, but he does later in another document actually kind of pull back and say that, hey, you know, this document wasn't meant to kind of like get out there. It was for someone. And I do believe that something that will go in hopefully in this video is that I think that Pokimane was kind of blackmailing him, and I'll give my thoughts on that in a little bit. So the main key points in all this, because he does talk quite a bit, is how he starts his relationship with Pokimane. And that happened in Taiwan in February 14th, 2008, where he and her had a trip and they got together. They kind of like got closer and closer. They went through the honeymoon phase, which is very simple, is where you're with someone and all you can do is talk to them, be with them, be dead coupley, be dead happy, and thus therefore, you know, that lasts for a while. So they come back from the trip and they continue on their kind of romanticness, and you know, they have like, you know, flirty text messages, FaceTime, sleepovers, which again I kind of think just say staying over, but again it brings all this in. And they say, and Fed turns around and says in this that, you know, they'd be cuddling while watching like Law and Order, and people would come in and be like, oh my god, hi, oh okay, and then kind of assume this. So they then bring up text messages, which we'll read one or two because there is so much in this. Again, would take a long time, and believe me, third time attempting to do this video. So he says like the text throughout this are obviously small glimpses of the relationship. So brings up like the first one is like, I saw you wrote in chat, made me blushy. And obviously Fed says heart hungry. So Fed is blue on this one, Pokey is grey. So she changes the number. Pretty soft. And then they spoke to her manager, or they both share the same manager, and they talk about it, and it's like bam, here we go, and they can see it happening, and Pokey kind of admits like, you know, that there's something kind of going on, but you know, she's doing the coy thing, etc, etc. So maybe like this one is the biggest one here. So where it's like, lol, I got lost in thought. Can you legit hear everything? Fed goes, ah. Pokey responds with, oh my god. Fed goes, lost in thought. She responds with, yeah, I haven't started. Taking care of myself, Obviously, he says, like, I will commence shortly, but he writes it a little bit differently. Let's zoom in a bit more. So rather than kind of the peace sign, it's more the fist, blah, 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 have fun. And then they kind of wish each other kind of good night. And it goes into, nice, I'm still embarrassed, by the way. Decided I'll never close my door ever again, if you know what I mean. Now, this whole thing right here shows that she's flirting with him quite a lot and saying like, hey, you can come in. But I think she starts kind of getting off on the idea of kind of like making him frustrated. And it's just this little thing here where, he literally goes in, or he tries to, but the door's locked. And she's like, oh, unfortunate, ha ha ha, oopsie. And then she's like, I can feel like I can sense your frustration, check again. And obviously if the door's locked, the door's locked. So I can imagine him trying again, and she's like getting off on this. This here doesn't make sense. In March 2018, we had an honest discussion about the direction where we were heading, and she brought up some notable problems. A, that we live together and could be a problem if things don't work out, and B, we are board members, own equally of the company that we work for. This could be a conflict of interest and get nasty if things didn't work out between us. So, all of this shows that they basically had this agreement. Don't sleep with each other. Don't kind of go into that sort of thing because it could be damaging to the company, etc., etc. And that's fine. That's a very notable thing to say. Hey, I don't want to do this. Please don't. We have to respect each other. But if you leave or if I leave, as therefore, we could easily get it on and stuff like that. So he's disappointed, but he kind of understands this. So you think that would be it, and that's like 100% no. Obviously, he's got feelings for her, and she completely leads him on. So these like messages here, where he's complaining about Hannah playing VR horror game right now, and Pokey says she's so drunk. And then it's like, okie dokie, I don't want to even talk to you. I'm foaming too hard. So I don't know what that kind of means. Apparently it's Twitch talk. So if you know, please let me know in the comments. Honestly, I'd give a lot to be back there with you right now. That's just me, though. This is cool and not anything crazy. So Foki josts squads right now without Fed. Again, more Twitch talk, I'm guessing. Anyways, don't say that. You want to be there for you and you'll have fun. So he says like, oh, I kind of really wish to join. And then they can't start watching something. Now this here is another kind of indication. So next here we have is like they obviously win a game. And it's just like, Fed, quick question. And it's like, yes, what's up? Are you calling me baby in front of others? He goes, no. He says, I'm surprised you're calling me baby at all. Sorry if this bothers you. And she goes, that's my fave pet name. And that is boyfriend restricted. It's still cute. Right there, you'd be like, damn right, understand that. And then obviously that would be a good point to say, hey, like, we're friends. But again, like some of these other text messages just kind of go further and beyond. And then, he'll stop. And then she's like, oh, I'll give you like 2 allowances. You can do it twice a week. But that there is a massive big sign. She goes, oh, you're not allowed to call me it because I'm that's boyfriend material. And then or privilege. And then all of a sudden, like, she's like, yeah, 2 a week. And it's just leading him on a bit more. Like you'd say, that's it. Not just, okay, you can call me 2 a week. And then, that's it. And, it for me personally, that would be a major sign of like, oh, okay, what is this kind of going on a bit more? So again, these other messages like, only thing I worry about you is seeing with too coupley in front of others before we actually are. And that there is a huge, massive kind of leading him on. Like you've said previously, like the company comes first, like, your work ethic. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, we're not a couple, but then we might be. And then, we are going to be in the future. And you're promising him so much. And this just really irritates me because it feels like, and we'll see this in a bit, like you're just leading them on for no reason at all. And, you need to kind of like stop it. And you had plenty of time. And even in her streams where she talks about how, like, in her mind, she said it. How about you actually turn around and not flirt with him in this sort of manner? because, saying one thing and then doing another is completely different. Hey, just want to be friends, but I kind of really like you a little bit more. I kind of really want more. This is messing with his head. If, in the situation where I've been, these are sort of messages that I've had, and it's more keeping an arm length away. There are other potential suitors out there, but hell, we've got this. So, you can come back when I want you to. It's fucking disgusting. Again, even up here, even to our friends, because she wants to keep it private. She's a very private person, and that's fine. You can be private with everything to make sure no one finds out, because it's none of their business. But the way that you lead them on like this is horrible. So it's like, outside the house, I always try to be discreet, private about that. But even to our friends, it's even more confusing to them. I don't know how to manage that or how I feel about that. Yeah, I'm not too sure how to handle that. But depends on how private you want to be. You tired? I don't know how much you want to talk about this. Okay. Oh, sorry, hon, didn't see. But yeah, I want to be very private until we make the jump. Then I don't give a fuck. But I feel that's not decided, so things get awkward sometimes. Again, right there. Just literally turn around, date him or not, but don't lead him on. Then she kind of jumps in and says, like, she wants to date about because she doesn't understand it. But again, that's the whole thing of like, I'm going to date about, and then if you want to, then you're not allowed to. You have to come back and see me. So this kind of goes on for a while where, she tries to make it out like, oh, bam, like, it's a bad thing. Make him feel really bad about this. He talks about over the years that this is a cycle, but now you can tell that there's a cycle of talking again, and then, oh wait, there's a problem. The cycle continued throughout the years every time it didn't work out. I think I lost a part of myself. Do you know how horrible that is? Oh, this guy over here doesn't like me, and like we're not going to see each other again. Hey, do you want to pick this up? It's fucking horrible. And even here, I became more and more frustrated. I started to become jealous and insecure at times. I would act out, like lock myself in the room and stream Pokemon for an entire day to try and avoid her. I just go over to Just Friends, disbanded streamer house, and vent about my frustrations. So they're going out, he's going out there saying, hey, like I've got this problem. We've all done this when we've liked someone where we wanted to talk and get other people's opinions. I've done it multiple times with my friends when I've liked someone, and it's a great way of kind of thinking about stuff. But the way that Pokey does this all the time is just absolutely horrible. Like, either don't lead this guy on or actually turn around and think about your business and say this isn't going to happen, but remain like friends, but then make sure that he knows this and not lead him on or try and turn it when you need him around because you feel comfy. And she refers to this as quite comfy. Oh, I'm so comfy with you. Yeah, cool. But, you've led him on. You've led him on. So basically in this like quick in this big paragraph, like apparently she thought I think she mentions it in a stream that she Fed tried to get all the people in Stream House or whatever, or Just Friends, to hate her, but that wasn't the case. And I don't think that he would be that sort of person from like when you read this. So, fair dues that. I don't think that you would do that. And obviously she goes to bed at 12, bang on, and that's it pretty much. We're going to briefly talk about the Steve and Pokey thing. So basically, this guy called Steve, who's not his real name, comes over to a party, and apparently Pokey in her video was like, oh, they became friends, like they couldn't get away from each other. That's obviously Fed and Steve. And then all of a sudden, like, Steve then asks Fed if there's something going on, is she single? And Fed says like, oh yeah, there's something going on between me and her. And then all of a sudden, like in Pokey's version, it was, oh, Fed really kind of emphasized this and, kind of like drove it home. And then all of a sudden, like Pokey would have a go at him and confront him. But in this sort of thing is, you have Fed who goes then, yeah, something is going on because he thinks something's going on. And I imagine Pokey's just like, no, we're not this, like, whatsoever. And it infuriates me because he thought something was going on and she was turning around to other people saying it's not going on. What the fuck even is that? Like, you don't lead someone on and then think, well, when someone better comes along, then I'm going to get with them first and then you can be pushed away. Going into this main thing with Yvonne and Pokey as well as Fed. Now, Fed never said that he wanted to get rid of her. There's texts and saying that nothing of that sort. But Pokey really makes it out and say, yeah, I want to get rid of Yvonne. How dare she? Blah blah blah. We need to get someone else. And to go down that road where you've seen these messages now, I would hate that. Like, you've painted Fed in this huge, massive light, and like saying it's all his fault, and you've pinned the blame on him a lot. I just think that's horrible. He's even saying, like, I personally never brought up the idea of Yvonne should be kicked out of offline TV ever. What I did bring up was my concerns to the people in the house. We talked extensively about our options and how we would, what we could do to motivate her and fix it, what we currently have and save moving out as a last resort. But she, but still remained in her position as a management. We get more text messages, like kind of talking about it. It's stuff like, questions Yvonne wants to move out and still manage OTV and stream and league. I don't get that. Best of all worlds wasn't an option. LOL. I'm okay with that sort of thing. It just rubs me the wrong way. She got lazy and she's going to move out and just take care of the TV stuff she wants to do. And it's like, we're working around her. But let's look for better people. It's a biz dev comes in and wants to do what Yvonne does on top of everything. I'm going to say, yes, that's my idea. So basically, that's it. Like, it's just sneaky tactics. So briefly, it says here that Yvonne wants to go down the content creator route, which is fine. So Fed agreed to this and was like, yeah, that's cool. And then Pokey suggested getting together and having a decision as a group. She brought this up to Lily, then me, then finally Toast. She went as far as to suggest that the idea that we got a full-time house manager, that as a result Yvonne would be kicked. I show these DMs because they show further I had no interest in seeing Yvonne fired. And there we go. We have Pokey going to Lily and saying all this sort of stuff. And then obviously, you like, yo, what you up to? Hi, yo. And then sends paying. So then obviously Pokey sends this. Basically this, I think you should be doing what you are doing. If not, I'll reconnect to Amanda. You are a talent, though. You help with content. Talent is meant to be your priority. Here, when I really thought about it, why did we hire Amanda? I see. When Yvonne is supposed to be Amanda, but in the house. Content creation was not a route, but that she likes to stream on the side is a main thing. But now it's like sponsorship deals, YouTube. You don't like it when people have sponsorship deals, do you, Pokey? It's just like, oh, hell no. All the money to you. So these messages show that a lot of stuff, like, she wants to get her kicked out. So even here at the end, overall, it's clear Pokey and I had a very volatile relationship, and I'm certainly guilty of being inconsiderate, oversharing, and breaking her trust. But I hope that this new information sheds a light on my side of things and gives a lot of much needed context that wasn't initially provided. Never at any point was I trying to manipulate or keep Pokey from making friends. I never wanted Yvonne fired. It horrifies me for how much and for how long misinformation about me and my character have been out there. Like I said, there are some issues I've been working on, and I feel I've already made a lot of progress. I only hope that one day I can be the man I could never have been before all of this. I really wish I didn't have to show text or DMs, as this is something I'm profoundly against. But this was an important person in my life for years, and for her to manipulate the narrative the way that she did to the public leaves me with no choice, because I'm not the person she described. And when reading all of this, you know that he was in love with her, and he would have done pretty much anything for her. Pokey knew this all the way through, and wanted to use that to her advantage. If there wasn't a guy about that she was interested or wanted to see, she would then use Fed. And one clip at the very end that she does is like when she brings up about the whole tweet that she made, and then she starts laughing it off. And you can see what Pokey is really about. And that makes me worried. Like, she's got this image that she's given to everyone, but on the deep side, she's nothing but a nasty person. She will keep her streaming stuff. She will keep everything normal. But now I think her image is ruined, and people are going to think twice before even kind of approaching her, either maybe being her friend or something like that, knowing that at any point, if she doesn't like them, she could stew stuff about them. And I think that's very kind of dangerous. So kind of like bringing this up to like the lowdown. I wanted to find myself, where possible, just giving context to things I felt were necessarily for my peace. I'm sober and in therapy. I have learned a lot about myself and my issues. I'm working very hard to address what causes these issues. My relationship with Pokey was a lot more complicated than we were just close. We've seen this in DMs and we've seen this in text messages, so that's fine. You know that there was something a lot more than that. I didn't want to try to manipulate our friends to get them to hate Pokey. Pokey's relationship with just friends was professional, and she used me as a scapegoat for not forming friendships with them. She isolated herself from them. I told some people we had a thing, and I felt I was being honest. However, it was wrong because because I broke her trust and privacy. No, that is one thing that irritates me, is you've now given her kind of a free pass. If you believe that you had a thing with her and a relationship was forming and you thought that, how would you like it if you saw her with these other guys and she just kind of was like, oh, we're just friends, but you know there's something more, and then after that fizzles out with them, you come back later and like she just kind of nuzzles up to you like nothing's happened, like those guys didn't matter. I would be like, get away from me. Like, if you're seeing other guys but telling other people that we're not together, what the hell? It's just that, it irritates me. I never tried to get Yvonne fired because of all the indecent stuff between us, but Pokey later does for other reasons. I also want to add, I've had similar statements for others, not Yvonne and Lily, and these statements include apologies, but also dispute some claims they made in their streams. While offering explanations from my viewpoint, I currently have not decided whether or not to post them. I think that since this has come out, I don't think he will. I think he'll keep them locked up. So let's have a quick look at this other thing, and I'll kind of give my thoughts on what I think of this like cheeky little bit of blackmail. So this is the statement I want to kind of go over. This is the other statement. A while ago, Pokey and I spoke about what happened. We came to agree that keeping things private and making no further statements publicly was the best thing for us both. To keep the document private, we wanted to heal and prevent any further harm of people getting involved. She would make a brief supportive statement when I returned, and we would go our separate ways. No more drama and not reopening other old wounds. So Pokey knew about all of this. She knew about the document. She talked about it in a stream. So she knew exactly what was going on. And to me, like, she had no preparation against this. She went in blind. She literally couldn't give anything. And you saw what Pokey was like completely. And I've got to say, for the stuff that she has done to Fed, it's absolutely disgusting. As I said before, I've been through all this. I know what it's like. And it's one of the worst feelings in the world. He had love for Pokey, and that was the main thing. So now it just seems like all of this together was like, she wanted to use him. She wanted to have him as a backup, have him in the same house. So when things didn't go right with someone else, she would just go to him, and that was it. And that to me just shows how kind of like horrible that she is. So yeah, I'm just absolutely disgusted with how she is. And now that when you see a stream, like the way that she apologizes to people as well, it's all going to be fake. So that's going to be interesting, because when stuff like where this comes out, this is going to follow her around for a very long time. She made horrible accusations against him, and that's she destroyed his career and she walked away from it. So she was unharmed in all of this, and he got the brunt of everything. Basically, he got everything slammed against him, and for months. And I feel like when you read this, and when he's like, oh, I don't want anything to happen, like Pokey and I were away, he's still leaving it as it is. We've discussed this. She gets off scot-free while he takes all the brunt of the force and has everything at him. And I think that's horrible, where she gets off scot-free and he doesn't, and yet he's still protecting her. Maybe the conversations that they've had face-to-face or more text messages, where is that she's promising to get with him again, or something like that. I don't know. That's just my kind of like opinion on that. So it wouldn't put it past me with the way that she is with him. So yeah, gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. What are your thoughts on all of this? With Fed and Pokey and all of that, this doesn't sit right to me at all. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.